Jimmy Wilson, and me.
Where were you?
Threes.
Your first night you went right to Threes?
Yeah.
And you never left?
No.
Until you put in for the transfer for the 42?
So you asked to drive engine one?
And finally, after all those years, I got a promotion.
Like tower driver.
Yeah. That's what he was angling for. He wanted to drive that truck.
Oh, did I tell you? Last couple of days, he kept trying to engage me in conversation. The chief
Did?
several times. One time, I don't know if it was in front of her. I was sitting on a bumper of the truck. He was going to get a coffee, and he said, "Are you counting down the hours?" So I said, "Yeah." And then he said a couple of things, and then I wouldn't get off the truck and go talk. So I just went and got coffee. But on our first day, my last first day, he came in, he parked his truck, and he was watching me. He said, "Hey, Tom, you know, and yeah, you're coming down to the end." And I said, you know, I walked up to him and I said, "Yeah, well, you know, 43 years, the bloom's going off the rose." So he says, "Oh, I don't believe that." So he said a couple of things, and then Sean came over, and he said, "Well, I hope you have a very healthy and long, you know, retirement." You know, his typical shit, you know. Probably saying, "No, please don't fucking kill me."
I can't believe he actually said something nice.
Well,
not that he meant it or not, but I'm just saying.
Well,
I could see that playing a role. Yeah.
I'll say this. Before he was chief, and before I was union president, I never really had a crossword with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we never really, you know, because he worked at Engine 5, he worked down there, he had some crazy ideas, and then you got out of there. I didn't see him for 2 fucking years. You know? So it worked. But I never had any big things with him.
Me neither.
And of course, the first 2 years he was kind of like on probation here, and then after that, when Ward got in, everything just went topsy-turvy really fast. Then of course, you know, we had the bank thing collapse in 08, and that was part of that, and where they were coming from, and it just got bad, and that's it. But he did what he had to do on well, he was a lot more than he did things he didn't have to do. I had to do what I had to do on this end.
There's no way it could have been avoided, really, because you were sticking up for us, and he's not with us.
Well, he's a different thinking guy. That's the only way to put it. You got to have a history with the guy to know he's just fucked up with his head. Something happened when he was a little boy. Something he can't really, you know, he doesn't have a best friend in the world. He doesn't really travel with people. He has no friends with other people. He can't bond with people.
He's not a people person.
No.
He has no social skills.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't.
Die if I have a cigar?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I'm going through life that way. It's just
Hartford, the Moose Club, and the Moose Club in Hartford. He's got his like sister-in-law's first cousins up there.
Throw it in that cup.
It's at a family function. Family. I believe that.
Nobody.
I was telling you.
Just
The Moose Club in Hartford. It's my wife's first cousin.
No.
wow.
Milk cow.
Sure. Just maybe once a year or something. That's it.
Sour.
The next chief over here.
Here he is.
Where you came from?
He's skulking all over.
If you became chief,
Say asshole.
He was upstairs.
what do you want for coffee?
Be like, Don, you want me to grab the trash?
No, he should
Take
have.
it out myself.
Oh, you guys can eat all the cake and sweets too.
Really?
Sure, it'll chow it down.
Don't eat the cake, just the block.
That's it, yeah.
If you don't do anything.
Hey, was Henry a captain or a lieutenant when he started?
He was a lieutenant. He was a lieutenant for 1 year. He was relatively new.
This was with 3 shifts, right? You only had 3 shifts back then?
3 platoons, yeah. 3 on, 2 off. He had just become and he had gotten they just had what had happened is him and Jack were together on ones with Busky. And they were like real renegades, you know what I mean? They were known as terrific firefighters. And what had happened is they were breaking the chief's balls like crazy.
Who was the chief? Kelly?
I don't think Kelly was the chief though. Might have been Graham. And but they were just known as renegades. And great firefighters, and neither one of them, either Jack or Henry, would not take a test because they didn't want to break up the crew. Well, what happened is, to punish them, they broke them both up. They sent Jack 1 to 5s or something, and Henry went someplace else, and so they both studied, and very quickly, from that moment, like within a year, they both became lieutenants, like off the same test within months of each other. And I was actually working with Henry the night that Frank Longo, they brought the name and they said, okay, you got 3 guys to choose from for your next chief. Kelly retired. I was working. Guys came down and they said, they brought your name forward, they put your name up the fire board. Barnes said, we want Henry Gasker to be the next chief. And Frank Longo said, no, bring me another name. And that started a big
And that was the
war.
Basil. What was the other choices? It was Basil, Gasky, and who? I thought there was just those 2 that went for it.
I think there was 3 names. And it might have been Rennie Rozier, but I'm not sure.
He was the fire marshal?
Yeah.
What's Zaremski?
Zaremski, I don't think so. Zaremski went in as acting chief
Yeah.
for Basil,
So
but I
what
don't
had happened
think he
is that
was,
thing went on for years.
I don't think he was one of the choices.
Yeah. Well, they told, well, I guess about a month later, Longo told Basil, go in that office, you take over, just walk in that chief's office and that's it. Another faction was telling Henry, do the same thing. Go in and take the chief's job. They brought your name forward, the fire board brought your name, and they won't bring another name. And Henry said, well, I don't want to get, if I ever have to get pulled out of there, I'm not going to do that. Because Basil did come out #1. But the rule was you can take any of the top 3.
The top 3.
Yeah.
It's still the rule.
Yeah. And Basil goes in, they start the fight. Right when the thing was, when the court case was just wrapping up, that's when they pulled, they knew they were going to lose, and they pulled Basil out of there, and they made him a deputy, and they put Zaremski in there, and that's when Dennis Perry started. Remember, he became driving shotgun for Basil. Basil would not leave this building without Dennis Perry in the car.
Batman and Robin.
It was Batman and Robin show, and that's when Dennis Perry just, that personality, that separation from him and everybody else came out then.
Oh, he was different when he was a private?
Well, he was younger, and he was not like he is now. But it's when he got in with, when he got in with, was that called for me before?
It was.
Who was it?
Some old gripper.
They're looking for a mutual.
No. Then they call back in 20 minutes. So it's like a retiree, you know.
Still awake?
Yeah.
Migo.
That's
Well,
well,
yeah,
he
we
was
both for showing up so early.
Now,
Migo's
Kubido,
sleeping at 5 o'clock.
You come at 7, you're
Brian
here
don't age,
quarter
does
of.
he?
Fish on.
Brian doesn't age.
hey, that's right.
No, he looks exactly the
He
same.
looks exactly the same. He's probably doing the same.
Well, because he looked old when he was like 45.
Who?
Like that. That's the
Regale
problem.
looks exactly the same.
He
don't
does. Just a little redder.
Oh
We
my
should
God.
bring him back. I don't think he can get any redder. We should bring him back.
He was a great guy. Her personality's the same.
They put him at headquarters, and that's what killed him. If he wasn't at headquarters, I think he'd still be here.
Well, he was down there with Schilling and Louis forever. Him and Schilling were like, it was just beautiful.
You know.
But Henry went from lieutenant to deputy.
Yeah.
Henry was never a captain.
Nancy.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
We got a steak and tomatoes tomorrow night. He's got flowers on some.
Who was deputy first? Henry or Jack?
Jack.
Jack made it?
Yeah.
What about Zaremski?
Steve was a captain when I came on, so I'm not sure if you're up. Oh, you know what? I think Steve was, because I don't think Jack was a deputy yet when they put Steve in as acting chief. Yeah, I think Steve was a deputy first. He was older, he had more
Steve was
time.
first, and then Henry, and then...
I think Jack, then Henry.
Yeah, because Steve was older.
Yeah, Steve was older, plus and he had rank too. And he was a book guy. Steve was, Steve was Steve.
Was he? He was so, when I knew him, I mean, I got him at the end of his career.
Well,
but
he was
such
one
a
of those
pussy.
guys that can do the book and the test, but he couldn't do the practical.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But Jack, as I told you, Jack's going to be 80.
you know, that's crazy.
That is crazy. So he's just a little bit older than Henry.
Just a little.
But they were two completely different people because Jack, and this is funny. This is the I don't know if it's firefighting or the guys that become firemen, but Jack was big union guy, right?
And Henry was not.
Henry would not join the union,
Right.
and
Oh, we had guys
they
like
had
that.
huge disagreements, but they were best fucking friends.
Yeah.
They did everything together, but they didn't let that stuff separate. And even when I was the president, when we had to force Lemieux and Gasky out, he never fired me. I never quit. You know, we never had that conversation. He never let that. And that's one of the things.
Oh,
about
when you were
the
driving
guy.
truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, everybody thought I'm fired, and guys would tell me, "Fuck that asshole." You know that last couple of years. And,
Yeah.
when he wanted to put a hole in the roof, and he wanted to do this, and he wanted to do a lot of things, and he would never put anybody for anything for like firefighter of the year. But the one year he was nominated, he took it. You know, because he took it with Jack. Him
Right,
and Jack
right,
got it.
yeah,
He
it
said
was
if
Jack.
Jack didn't get it, he wouldn't have taken it with Jack. But Jack didn't take it alone either. But they never, I don't know, they were able to separate certain things. You know, they weren't one issue guys. And guys would tell me all the time, I mean, guys were fucking banging me. You gotta quit, you can't work with that fucking asshole, you know, you can't do it, you can't do it. And I said,
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Part of the hood, trying to do good like I should. That's all I know. It's Will.
All right,
Friendly
Will.
Will.
Friendly Will.
Yeah, I got more cards than you guys probably hold. Got asbestos, hazmat. Yeah, lead. Ocean 30. I got them all. I belong to the union too, bro. I'm 30 and out, but you guys are probably 20 and out. You guys want to chase them credits, keep fighting them fires, and do what you got to do. You know,
No.
make sure you guys keep things real.
No.
Get your young bucks in here. They don't know. Yeah, when they start marching you guys all, especially a big shot over there. You know,
Stuck in Iraq.
Obama's taking over, guys. It ain't like what it was in your day. Before it was like 20 and out.
I say yeah.
No, it's true. True. You know.
that's what I did.
When I came out here, I worked at, they were called Superfund sites. So when you guys go fight fires, you don't know what you're exposed to. No, look at me like a weirdo. I don't know, whatever. Whatever, guys. God bless you.
This whole night's just going
May
like
may
that.
God be with you and multiply your blessings. And you know what? I am the real deal. I've seen it all, done it all. I worked at nuclear plants. I've seen shit that make your head explode. Alpha, beta, gamma, it don't matter. I'm purebred American. No.
She didn't see you over here.
Right on.
Have a good night.
God bless you.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Keep things real.
Be careful,
Keep
huh?
me safe.
In
Please.
the chief spot.
At least keep the city safe. Whether you can keep it safe.
So I said, yeah.
When they
You'll
have
see him soon.
exposure.
We're gonna have you over the house.
Make sure, Bill Stapleton keeps it hush hush. You guys know, he knows Bill. Bill's my buddy. Bill, very good. And I pedal my bicycle around so I don't get caught. Big clock.
There you go. Be careful.
I will. God bless you.
Thanks. See what I mean?
What?
He's out of
Ronnie looks good.
Yeah, he
Ronnie
does.
looks really good, doesn't he?
He looked better. He looked better tonight than he has in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
Still doing edible arrangements?
Yeah, we see him at the
You know,
He's still there? Still there?
Oh, where's
Yeah.
Yeah, who with him? Seen
I
him
don't
around?
know. Yeah, he's not doing well. I don't know.
Oh,
what
he's
his-
sick?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him,
Yeah.
but he don't feel good.
I'll give you that too.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Seen it all, done it all. Knows everything.
There's a guy, usually the guys retire